My background is just pretty much, I've dealt with a lot of death and that throughout my life. Family breakdowns, loss of friends, and loss of my brother led me down a road of hard drugs, and just could never keep a family. Everything just ended up going pear-shaped. And my partner and my little one had left me when I was living in the Pilbara, and I took that really bad. I kept working, but I just started doing drugs again, like smoking the weed and doing meth, and I sort of knew I was coming back in here, so I was trying to drive my life into the ground, I suppose. I remember Pete saying, like, it only takes the worst of the worst.
A few months into the program, Jamie relapsed and exited with some other residents. He tells us why.
Things were triggering us. I think it was that Friday afternoon, we seen a pretty girl. Then there was a building site where there was all these painters sitting around having a few beers and listening to good music. It's like we looked at each other and just thought, you thinking what I'm thinking, and bang, we walked out of there.
And the quickest way to fix the problem is to stick a pick in arm, smoke a pop a pill. But when you do that for 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, and that becomes your go-to, you're formulating patterns of behaviour, ways to communicate, ways to think. And then when you take away the coping mechanism, you've got to rewire all that again.
Swallowing his pride and intent on regaining the trust of his family, Jamie re-entered the program.
I got all the things I was desiring, but I just couldn't enjoy them, man. It was like I got visions of what was going to happen to me if I stayed out in that world. I looked at my friend who lived there and he just looked shocking. I just knew I didn't want to end up like that, so I talked to Leon the next day, regretting leaving, and he talked to Pete, and that was when I got a call from Leon again the next day to say, call Pete straight away. I rang him and he asked where I was and gave me 30 minutes to get to the girls' cafe, so I did, I was pretty buckled. He just asked me what happened, like what caused me to do that, I suppose. But no, he wasn't tough on me, man. He was actually, he was pretty loving on me, really.
But the second you have that drink, all of a sudden, I've stuffed up, and then all of a sudden someone would come along with a gear, and then you had a shot, and then you've done all this stuff, and then all of a sudden you start coming down, and then you realise, well, my God, what have I done? So unless you deal with all these hard issues, the root cause of why it is we do what we do, you're always going to get what you got. And that's why you can't fix 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, you can't fix it in 3 months.
Now more focused than ever on recovery, Jamie has a weekend with his daughter Nevaeh.
Like, I've got 3 daughters now, and they've all grown up without their dad pretty much, man. And if I hadn't come in here, the same thing would have happened to Nevaeh. Like, I could just see, we just started growing distant,
Now, you either go into a place like Shalom and fight to change all those patterns and those behaviour traits that you don't like, because if you don't fight them and change them in you, then your children are going to have to fight for what you don't fight for.
This is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, bro. But every morning I'll wake up and I'll see her photo on my wall and stuff, and I know why I'm doing it. Like, this is what it's all about, eh?